Hey, welcome back. You're with Elaine Jacob and you're with Kyle.
Hey.
Hey, Kyle. So Kyle's with me today and Kyle is so excited. Excited,
Yes,
right?
super excited.
Super excited.
Great to be here.
Yeah, me as well. Kyle and I set this thing up somewhere in November, right? We've been trying to come together, and I'm so excited that you would come and spend this morning with me and to be able to share with our listeners what you've been up to.
It's a pleasure to be here, seriously.
So I think for me, more than anything, I just want to bless the gift that you are to the world.
Thank you.
I thank God for you because, I mean, we need young people like you in the world who's doing amazing things. And I always say, you know, on the show, we talk about this all the time, saying, you know what? Our gift to the world, God has put it within us. We are a solution to a pain in the world.
Yeah.
And for me, hearing your story when I heard it from Cheryl the first time, I was like, I got to meet Kyle. I want to know more. So, Kyle, tell me a little bit. Okay, so I know we know each other, but our listeners don't. So tell us a little bit about you, where you've been, what you've been up to.
Yeah, so quite a long journey. Let's keep it short. But I'm an entrepreneur. I actually started out in mission work 10 years ago. And have since married a Finnish girl, lived in Finland, lived all over Europe, started a company in the US and in Europe. And God really has been moving me in the technology space, and that's what I'm passionate about.
And you started out here in Fairy Glen. Just for the listeners that weren't with us in the previous hour, so you're from Fairy Glen. So you're a homegrown Pretoria boy.
Absolutely.
Which school did you go to?
Willow Ridge. Shout out to Willow Ridge.
Yay, to everyone listening in from Willow Ridge. You guys have a star. You have a star. So amazing. And then you got to live in Europe. And then, so tell me about your work in missions. Like, how did you get into that?
Yeah, so, I mean, my background first off was in computer graphics. I was a visual effects artist and got saved. And God really moved in my heart to do something more meaningful with my life. So I went into mission work with OM, where I met my wife.
Oh, wow.
And we moved to Europe. And with my roommate from missions training, I actually started a company back 10 years ago.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So that was a different company, right?
Absolutely,
So tell me one line about that company.
That company was about helping people reach the needs of their community through volunteering.
Okay, so it's a volunteer platform.
Yep, yeah.
Really cool. Was that for churches or just people in general?
It started out for churches, but then it grew for anyone, you know, who wants to make a difference.
Very nice. And so what brings you here today is Voller.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I wanted you here, Voller. So, Voller, for those of you who are listening on radio, you want to know more, you can go to the website, which is www.voller.org, which is like volunteer dollars.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
That's where the name came from, yeah.
Okay, I got it right. Yay! And I love it. Your little brochure says it's the currency of good. So please tell me, what is Voller? And especially for those like my mom is going to be listening in on the show.
Yeah.
So you know, just break it down for us, Kyle.
So Voller is an incentive currency. We know loads of incentive platforms here in South Africa, but it's specifically around social impact. So we work predominantly in disadvantaged communities, empowering people to be motivated with incentives to do impactful things locally with local NGOs. And they earn Voller for doing that, and then they can use that to buy their basic necessities at local small businesses.
Wow. So basically, you volunteer, but then you get, what is it, points? You get
You can kind of think of it like points.
Like points,
it's
okay.
Got monetary value.
So it's points that are of monetary value.
Yeah.
Wow.
So $1, $1 it's easier that way.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. So basically, if I have $1, I can take it to like a store near me that is a part of the program?
Well, yes, specifically small businesses. And that's part of what we do, because we're empowering people to change their local communities, activating them. But then we're also giving them a form of money to actually serve their basic needs, to buy food, to buy electricity. But the catch is they have to do it at small businesses, because those small businesses, they don't get the Voller, they get the rands at the end of the line. So it channels money to them.
Oh,
help
wow.
develop the community.
Oh, that is amazing. So actually the small business benefits as well as the community, the members of the community. So can you give me an example of a project or a program that you run?
So, I mean, it doesn't have to be volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be centered around impact.
Okay.
So, for example, one of the customers we work with, a property development group,
Mm-hmm.
they actually do training courses to help people get basic skills.
Okay.
But they were having quite a high drop-off rate in those training programs, and they were wasting money on catering, actually.
Wow.
So they contacted us and said, can we swap our catering budget into incentive budget so that people are motivated to come to class and to participate, but they can just use that then to buy their own food for lunch or what other necessities they needed from local small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazingly successful. We've done a lot of work with them now. They went from having a 50% drop-off in those programs to 100% of graduation attendance at the end. So,
oh wow, that is amazing, because that's retention, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And most people don't finish the programs because they need to think about money. Like, Sharon and I, we worked with an organization that was really around HIV and AIDS, and it was getting girls to come into workshops, but a lot of the girls wouldn't come. They'd come, they'd sign up, and then, I don't know, like 2 weeks later, they'd just drop off. And so when they found out why, they were like, no, because they were taking their CVs to try to get a job, because jobs are so critical. And look, for me, in a country with such high unemployment rates, I mean, this is such a unique, such a creative, such an amazing opportunity, because you don't really necessarily need to work for money in order to be able to get a necessity.
Yeah, exactly. You can do something good and positive. And you know exactly what you're saying about those girls. We've seen it, that it's so difficult for people who are in poverty, living, let's say, hand to mouth, to actually take time out to go and educate themselves. And Vola helps them bridge that gap.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. So if you're a corporate listening in, if you're someone who's like, wow, this is exciting, you got to go to the website, right? I did say it. It's www.vola.org, like dollar with a V. And you want to check it out, because for me, I mean, there's just so much that excites me, because number one, we've got poverty levels that are so high. We've got unemployment levels that are so high. But if each community can be empowered, it's a transformation that happens from within, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so where are you? Where is your project?
So we are busy starting up our projects for 2020. By the next 2 or 3 months, we'll be in Gauteng. We'll be kicking off work again in KwaZulu-Natal and in the Western Cape. So we've had projects in KZN and the Western Cape. And
so, Kyle, you came up with this all by yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, inspired for sure.
Inspired by God. Yes, inspired, sure. But I mean, you're so young. So those of you who are like not watching Facebook Live, this is a really young guy. He's my age. Like, yeah, 2 years younger than me. But I mean, you're so young, and this is just, for me, just so transformational. And for young people that are listening in on the show, what would you say?
Just get started. Just do something. Often the hardest thing for people is they have great ideas, but they don't just take the step to show up, to just do one thing. I mean, when I started Vola, it was this massive mountain that I could see ahead of me. We didn't have the money to do it. We actually sold our car and rode bicycles for 6 months to take the money we had and invest it to start this company, because we really believed in it.
Wow.
And often that's just what it takes, is just taking the first step to do something. Don't be held back. Just use what you've got and get started.
Yes. And tell me some of the recognitions that you've received. And I know you're modest, and you don't want to say it, but I told you I was going to ask this question.
Yeah, so. You did. You warned me.
Yeah, I did warn you. Because look, I think it's good for us to celebrate what God is doing. Yeah. And the fact that, a young man from here, Pretoria, can actually be able to do this inspires me and inspires the listeners. So please tell us.
Okay, so last year was a big year for us. It was when we launched commercially. Some of the great things that happened, that God just answered prayers for us that we'd put in place. I mean, we always dreamed, imagine one day if we do a TED Talk.
Wow.
And then a few months later, we got nominated to do a TED Talk for TEDx Cape Town.
Oh, wow.
We were then nominated as one of 6 companies from the African continent to present at Stanford University.
In the
US, in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
Over what? Stanford University. So have you done that already?
Yeah, that was in April or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Then more recently, we won a Social Innovation Award, or one of the SAB Social Innovation Awards for 2019. And yeah, also another great one was you got to speak as a guest speaker for social entrepreneurship for London Business School. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And we pray for many more.
Yeah.
I am praying and trusting God that God opens doors for you everywhere, because there's so much that we need to learn and to be able to do. And the fact that it's in the tech space, which is the growing space, I think most of us are not really tech savvy. But to be able to hear that this is a technology program, innovative, and making a difference is just so wonderful. So if someone from Pretoria or Gauteng wanted to get, like, to say, oh, Kyle, I love what you're saying. What do I do? How do I learn more? How do I bring the program to my organization?
Yeah, so I think the best ways, if you have programs, contact us. If you want to run Voller, we are partnering with businesses, with organizations to bring Voller into their work and help it be more impactful. And for people, the best way you can get involved is share the word. Help us gain more recognition and exposure for what we're doing. And we have a foundation as well, a non-profit foundation, that is going to be used for actually channeling incentives into communities. So we have that if you're a donor and you want to donate incentives to actually empower people, there's that channel available.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And I think for me, a lot of trading companies can benefit from this, because we've got a huge needs on, learning skills. Like, we've got skills, but people really don't stay because retention is an issue. And from someone being in the training space, I totally get that. I understand it. So I think working with a platform like yours would actually improve retention.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really nice. So I think anyone listening that is part of skills development, or you're in charge of social energy, social entrepreneurship, social good, you want to be able to get in contact with Kyle. So Kyle, any last words?
I'm just grateful. That's all I can say. It's honestly such an honor to be here and just to be a part of what God is doing. It's a lot of work, but I could talk your ear off all day about like the miracles we've seen happen, amazing things how God has just supported us and empowered us. So,
yep, absolutely, I love it. Me, I'm so inspired. I mean, you must know you've inspired me, and I know many of the listeners listening in will be inspired by this, because I do believe that the solutions to the world's problems are in the hearts of children of God. That's it. It's in our hearts, and I think having the courage to pursue what God is calling us to is the key.
Yeah.
So well done that you have stepped in the direction of what God has called you for. And I pray that your wings go far. I pray that many countries get to benefit, especially on the continent where we've got like huge issues. And so just know that I love what you do, and I'm excited. And so if anybody wants to find out more, you need to go to the web address of www.vollar.org, and you're going to check out. They've got a really cool video on that website. I've checked out the whole site, and so Donaline, I've just given the website again, but I'm going to say one more time for you, Donaline. www.vollar.org, which is everything around the currency of good and looking at how we can make social impact in our world. And so thank you so much, Kyle, for being with us in studio. Whenever you're around, please pop in.
I will do. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Absolutely. And please know that you are a friend here to us at Impact. And we want to learn more. We want to know how to be able to do more, because I believe that our world desperately needs the gift that is within us. So.
Yep.
So thank you so much. And so final words for youngsters.
From me.
Yes.
Go and do it.
Go and do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Start. Just start with what you have. Don't wait. Just start.
Just start. Okay, good. So if you're someone in the entrepreneurship space and you also want inspiration, go to the website, reach out to Kyle and say, Kyle, what did you do? How did you start? Because Kyle loves the Lord and he loves the world, doing good. So we're all here to help. So with that, we have Court Air Zoe Worship coming up, so enjoy.